Did you know Sharon Stone once felt her entire career and life might vanish in a single heartbeat? In 2001, the star of Basic Instinct suffered a near-fatal brain hemorrhage that left her fighting for survival and terrified she might never act again. That harrowing brush with death proved to be a defining chapter in a life already filled with dramatic twists. Let's explore the many hidden facets of this talented actress, from her early days in small-town Pennsylvania to her rise as a powerful voice in Hollywood. Sharon Stone was born in 1958 in Meadville, a small industrial town in northwest Pennsylvania. Growing up during a time when traditional values dominated, her ambition to become a movie star felt more like a fantasy than a plan. But she was whip-smart, winning local beauty pageants and excelling academically. That combination of poise and intellect set her on a path that would lead to international stardom and plenty of unexpected complications along the way. She stormed Hollywood at a moment when the glamour of the 1980s was giving way to the edgier, risk-taking vibe of the early 90s, perfectly positioning her to break boundaries with roles few actresses would dare to attempt. She was rumored to have one of the highest IQs in Hollywood. For years, stories circulated that Sharon Stone boasted an IQ of 154, placing her in the genius range. While the exact number remains unconfirmed, and she's played it coy, there's no doubting her sharp intellect. She reportedly started college at just 15, attending Edinburgh University of Pennsylvania to study creative writing and fine arts. Friends from that time say she could read textbooks in a single sitting and retain everything. Whether or not the 154 figure is real, Stone's analytical mind helped her carve out a unique space in Hollywood. She became known for bringing more than beauty to the screen, imbuing her characters with a keen sense of emotional intelligence, too. She was discovered by a pageant scout and began modeling at a young age. Growing up in Meadville, Stone stood out not just for her brains, but for a confident stage presence that won her titles like Miss Crawford County. When a pageant scout spotted her, she was whisked into the world of high-fashion modeling. By the late 1970s, she was living in New York City, posing for major brands and learning the ropes of an industry often skewed by superficial judgments. This early phase toughened her up. The stoicism required to maintain composure on catwalks and in casting rooms would later serve her well when auditioning for film directors who rarely gave feedback or courtesy. If you watch her in front of cameras, you can still see that model's poise, the intense gaze, the perfectly timed angle of her head. 3. She had a blink-and-you'll-miss-it debut in Woody Allen's Stardust Memories. One of her first film experiences was a fleeting, almost invisible part in Woody Allen's 1980 film Stardust Memories. She wasn't credited at the time, but Stone has mentioned how surreal it was to be on a movie set with Woody Allen, even in a minor capacity. Though most viewers wouldn't notice her cameo, she considered it a significant learning opportunity. She watched how scenes were set up, how Allen communicated with his crew, and how quickly everyone moved. It was nothing like the world of print modeling. Those quiet observations fueled her ambition to transition fully to acting. 4. She was literally struck by lightning before her near-fatal stroke. Long before her well-known health crisis, Stone had another brush with mortality. She once shared a startling anecdote about being struck by lightning in her own kitchen. Apparently, she was filling an iron with water from a well pump when a bolt of lightning traveled through the water, throwing her clear across the room. While she walked away stunned and relatively uninjured, this freak incident introduced a sense of life's fragility at an early age. Later, when she suffered the 2001 stroke that almost claimed her life, Stone said she drew on the resilience she'd discovered that day, once again forced to confront how abruptly things can change. 5. Basic Instinct sparked one of Hollywood's biggest controversies. The 1992 erotic thriller Basic Instinct made Stone an overnight sensation, but it also embroiled her in controversy. Its explicit content and her daring portrayal of Catherine Trammell spurred heated debates on censorship, the male gaze, and the ethical boundaries of filmmaking. Stone later admitted she felt manipulated during the famous interrogation scene. She claimed she was under the impression it would be filmed in a more discreet manner. That revelation created friction between her and director Paul Verhoeven, raising pressing questions about the treatment of actresses on set. While critics argued the film was exploitative, Stone's performance was widely lauded, propelling her to global stardom. 6. She won a Golden Globe and an Oscar nomination for her role in Casino, but few know the turmoil behind the scenes. Stone delivered a riveting performance as Ginger McKenna in Martin Scorsese's 1995 film Casino, a role that earned her a Golden Globe win and an Academy Award nomination. But behind the accolades lay intense pressure. The character of Ginger, a woman descending into addiction and chaos, took a psychological toll on Stone, who worried she might get lost in Ginger's paranoia and desperation. Cast members recall her seeking solitude in her trailer after particularly gut-wrenching scenes, sometimes crying softly to shake off the character's darkness. The exhaustion was worth it. Her layered portrayal remains a high point in her career, cementing her reputation as a serious actress beyond Basic Instinct. Her 2001 stroke nearly ended her life and career. Even fans who know she had a stroke may not realize how dire her situation truly was. Stone experienced a subarachnoid hemorrhage that put her at death's door. She spent 9 days in the ICU with a tear in her vertebral artery that bled into her brain. Recovery took years. At one point, she couldn't read properly, let alone memorize scripts or deliver lines. Casting directors quietly distanced themselves, assuming she wouldn't return to form. But Stone proved them wrong. She worked tirelessly on speech therapy, physical therapy, and mental exercises to reclaim her life. During interviews, she often grows emotional, describing the moment she finally felt like herself again. That comeback stands as one of Hollywood's most inspiring tales of resilience. 8. She lost child custody and faced personal struggles in the aftermath. Not all battles have been waged on film sets or hospital beds. In the years following her stroke, Stone faced painful personal challenges, including a high-profile custody dispute over her son Roan. She openly shared how devastating it was to confront legal arguments suggesting she was unfit to parent, partly due to her health issues. Close friends describe her as heartbroken but undeterred, channeling that pain into her philanthropic endeavors. The scrutiny of the tabloids made an already difficult situation feel insurmountable, but Stone emerged more determined than ever to maintain a stable, loving environment for her children. 9. She sparked outrage with her 2008 Karma comment about China's earthquake. Sharon Stone found herself at the center of international controversy when she commented that the devastating 2008 Sichuan earthquake in China might be karma for the government's policies in Tibet. The remark triggered widespread backlash, leading to boycotts of her films in certain markets and condemnation from numerous humanitarian organizations. Stone issued an apology, acknowledging that her comments were thoughtless and caused real hurt to people suffering from tragedy. The episode served as a stark reminder that even well-intentioned or offhand remarks can spark a firestorm, particularly when made by someone with a global platform. 10. She's a tireless philanthropist and AIDS activist, quietly funding transformative projects. While Stone's red carpet appearances often make headlines, her philanthropic work deserves equal spotlight. She's been an outspoken advocate for AIDS research, having worked closely with EMFAR, the Foundation for AIDS Research, for decades. Her involvement stems from friends lost to the disease in the 1980s, a personal toll that galvanized her dedication. Those who know her say she donates both time and substantial resources, sometimes funding projects under the radar to avoid publicity. She's also active in peace and humanitarian initiatives, and her commitment to empowering women in film and beyond continues to grow. For Stone, success isn't about box office receipts. It's about leaving a mark that transcends the screen. So what legacy does Sharon Stone leave us? She's a testament to the sheer force of will, a woman who rose from a rural Pennsylvania childhood to Hollywood superstardom, then nearly lost it all to a stroke and found her way back. Her story is loaded with contradictions, intellectual yet unabashedly glamorous, fiercely confident yet capable of deeply human vulnerability. She's also living proof that controversies and missteps don't have to define a career. It's possible to own those mistakes, learn, and continue to grow. Ultimately, Sharon Stone reminds us that true strength often emerges in moments of weakness, and that the measure of a life well lived isn't just about the triumphs you earn, but how you stand after you've been knocked down.